Hello everyone, this is Caffeine Encrypted and we are back with another game. Today we're playing A Hero's Rest, an early access game where you build a little area for heroes to stop by, buy items, pick up quests, and help the kingdom in a way. This game has a lot of mechanics that we will have to cover, so I will explain as we go. So let's start a new game. So we have three different maps. We have a new beginning, mountain pass, and hanging garden. We'll start with a new beginning. It's a nice and accessible map. Let's give our town a name. Hi, random person with awesome hair. Let's call it Mocha Town. Caffeine theme. And we have three types of difficulty. We have relaxing, challenging, and hardcore. For this series, we're gonna go with relaxing, so things are a bit faster. Otherwise, this series will drag into too many episodes. And we will talk more about difficulties later during the game. So let's get started. And here we are, with a letter from Mr. George. Greetings, I write with pleasure to inform you His Majesty the King, in his great wisdom, has gotten it into his head to appoint your father to develop this piece of land into a bustling little pit stop for passing adventurers to rest up and buy whatever it is these adventurer types need. Of course, your lazy old man will do anything to avoid his responsibilities and is nowhere to be seen. As your father's, I am sure, very capable child, this task falls on you. Use whatever resources your father has left you, and be sure to please His Majesty's wishes. Don't forget that each piece of land you own will be taxed to fill His Majesty's coffers. Undeniably, to support his subjects. Sincerely, Mr. George, Steward of His Majesty the King of Falonia. So we're giving this piece of land to build on and start setting up some basic stores. On relaxing difficulty, things cost cheaper than other difficulties and they require less materials, but there is still a challenge. Relaxing is the best way to learn the game, challenging is good to put what you learn into test, and hardcore is for when you really want to challenge yourself, because hardcore is actually quite challenging. We will skip the tutorial and I will explain things as we go. So we have three game speeds. We have slow, normal, and fast. We'll go on slow. And then we have different lots. So we have a lot over here, we have another lot over here. And if we follow the road, we will find 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more lots. So we have a fair bit of space to build. For this map, our entrance is over here from this cave, I suppose. So we want to start with an inn, which is our first objective. I like using this spot, so we're gonna click on this little signpost. The first lot is for free, so we're gonna buy this. And we will need the second lot to build early on. So we're gonna buy the one right next to it for 2,900. Now, down here we have the building menu, and we want to select construction. We have different types of floor, so we have wooden, stone, stone tile, and diamond, and a variety of different wall types. For something to be considered a building, it needs to have a floor, and not necessarily walls. I don't think walls are necessary. So we won't go too crazy, we'll just place about 9 of these. I'm holding shift just so I can continuously put those down. I want a door, let's say right here. Let's put a window so people can look outside. And of course, walls. I will start with something small, we can always expand later. Keep in mind that each area, each lot can contain one type of building. So an innkeeper will be all of this. We will utilize this as a blacksmith, so this whole area will be a blacksmith. We cannot build any other workstations in those areas. Let's put a door as well. Okay, so we have a building, but the game doesn't know what this building is at the moment, so we need to create a workstation. So we're gonna go workstations, and we're going to select an innkeeper desk. So we're gonna zoom in, and I want this to be very close to the entrance because it needs to be the first thing my people see. So to build an innkeeper, you need 9 walls, 1 door, 1 oven, 1 stockpile, and 1 quest board. every building, every workstation actually needs a stockpile, and it gives you a storage limit of 15 items. We'll talk more about that soon. So I'm gonna place one for now, and I'm also going to put an oven. The innkeeper does not use the oven. For the time being, it's just decorational. Okay, so we have all that, but we need a quest board. And if we mouse over the quest board, we will see you need any workstation. So we need something on a different lot that is a workstation that produces some items for our people, for our heroes. I like to start with a blacksmith forge, so we'll select the forge. This one goes only outdoors. There is a bunch of workstations that are indoors and some that are outdoors. Blacksmith is one of those that is outdoors. I'm gonna place it back here. The proximity doesn't matter because we are the only ones using it. Our people do not actually go there. And I need to build another building. So let's make this with a different type of stone. Again, I like starting with 9 tiles on flooring as a starting size, and expand later. As when we progress, we unlock more buildings and more items for the buildings. So I like to have the space available. And let's put a door. Cool. Now the game says build one counter and a stockpile. So for stores, we have generic vendor counters. So we'll place that in the entrance. So someone will come in, wants to buy something from the blacksmith, they need to talk to him, and they will buy whatever they want. You can have multiple counters, so you can have 2, 3, 4, it doesn't really matter, depends on the traffic of heroes you have visiting. And we're gonna put one stockpile, of course, to get things started. We get the first milestone, hammer and anvil, finish building the blacksmith. So we have a blacksmith. And now that we have our first workstation complete, we can set up the quest board. Now the quest board obviously cannot go in the building, so we will have to place it outside. So for now I'm just gonna place it right here. Another milestone, the journey begins. So we have an inn, and we have a blacksmith. Heroes will visit our town, they will buy food, and then they will look around to buy what we have. We have weapons, we have armors, it really depends on their class. The game wants us to make a class, but before we do that, let's craft a couple things. If you click on the innkeeper, you can see stats about the innkeeper specifically. So our progress in the gathering quests and slay quests, our food tier, so we can craft only tier 1 food, and just some general stats, as well as our limits. We can have 15 items on stock as we mentioned, because of the single stockpile, and then we can log up to 5 quests. If you want, you can name the building over here. Now, to craft for the inn, you need to click on the actual vendor table, and we can craft food or quests. Let's go craft some food first of all. So we have first tier unlocked, and we have 4 different types. Each one does something different. This heals 5% health, 10% mana, 10% health, 5% mana, so that you have a bit of variety. And if you cycle through them, you will see that later on they have different costs. So not everything costs the same. For this, we're going to start with the fruitcake, because it gives a lot of health and a little bit of mana. So I'm going to craft 15 of them. If we want, we can add extra seasonings, toppings, and ingredients. This will only affect the quality of the item. So you have bad quality, normal, good, rare, and epic. At the moment, we need to be a bit conservative about our money. We have 11 normal and 4 bad. People will still consume the bad, but they will take a little morale hit. Normal, they will just enjoy it. The lower quality heals less than the normal. So if the normal is expected to heal 20 and 5, it will heal a little less. If we go down here on the inventory and select food, we can see our items. So normal, this one will heal 21 and 5, while bad will only do 15 and 4. So we have that. Now, we will need to create a few quests as well. So we're gonna go craft quests. So here you can choose what items you want to bring back from your quest. So weapons cost metal, and wood. So we're gonna select one for metal, one for wood, and one more for food, because we need to keep our people fed, right? At the moment, we have a bunch of different objective types. We have scavenging, farming, treasure hunt, and expedition. Each one with a higher difficulty. The difficulty is obvious down here on the optimal CR. We're gonna go farming and mining. We are going to adjust the risk down so it makes the optimal CR less. So when we get a new hero in town, they will come in and they will have a CR. When they buy items, and the better items they buy, their CR increases. So as we gear them up, we need to give them harder quests. So we will make this easy, and we will set up one gathering quest, farming and mining, and it has the potential to bring us back between 1 and 4 bronze bars. So let's create that. Down here we can also see how many heroes we have that are below the optimal, on the optimal, and over the optimal. This will become very useful later on. Okay, let's log one for wood as well. It's good that it actually keeps the difficulties on the difficult slider. And let's send another one for food, A to 16. Perfect. So this is 3 out of our 5 quests. I'm gonna keep it at that for now. Now, the next thing is we need to set up our first class. And to set up the first class, we need to talk with this guy here, the Weapon Master. He will visit us periodically and allow us to create classes. So let's train a class. While he's here on the outdoors, we can only make 3 classes. Later, we can go up to 8. So let's make a new class. And we have 4 different attributes. Strength, so every hero that is part of this will generate a number of gold per day. Dexterity will generate a little bit of food. Constitution will reduce our losses during failed threats. So later in the game we have enemies raiding our settlement. And this helps us, if we don't stop them in time, to decrease the amount they're going to plunder from us. And then of course we have intelligence, which generates a small amount of royal tokens. Royal tokens are used to create classes, update classes, and trade with the merchant. At least at this point in the game. So I like to start with strength and 2-handed weapons. You see that I can only select one item. The moment I remove that, everything else goes grey. And the reason for that is I do not have any more royal tokens to set things up. So when I gather some more, I can enable, let's say, heavy armor or herdier or pauldrons, considering I have the workstation that can provide them. Let's name the first class and let's go Unyielding Champions. It's a name I like to use. And then we need to select a cool icon for them. Let's go with this one. This one is free because it's the first class. Perfect. Another milestone. Now, what will happen is the game will start generating visitors and heroes. We have 2 types of visitors. We have those who just want to visit our town, buy food and buy some other goods that we sell that are not for heroes, and then our heroes who want to buy equipment and go out on quests. The class is the type of hero that will visit your town. So we will get a hero that wants to buy 2-handed swords as their primary weapon. So let's go over here on the blacksmith, select crafting item, and then we can choose what do we want to craft. 1-hand, 2-hand, offhand, dagger, offhand dagger, and heavy armor. If we select, let's say, 1-hand, the game will tell us that, hey, you don't have an active class using this one. So are you sure you want to build it? So we're going to select 2-handed swords. And here you can actually customize the blade. So when you click on this box, so you have the blade, the guard, and the hilt. 3 parts. So it's a modular build. You can adjust the colors and the item. So let's make a fancy blade for our people. Let's go with this white blade and let's make it gold and red. So the blade is gold, the runes are red. Let's select the guard and let's go with black and gold. And let's press the arrow to get a variant. Ooh, I like this one. Actually, let me just quickly change the blade. Let's go with something a bit darker and gold. So it matches this. And then hilt. I think that's a very nice one. So let's go with black and gold again, just to have a little bit of a fancy looking weapon. Does it change anything on the weapon? Not really. It's just for aesthetics. At the moment there is no way to save that design, so you have to select it every time. And here you can see that we can build 200 weapons of tier 1, 2, 3 and 4. Every time you craft, you gain experience. When you reach this experience threshold, you unlock the next tier and it needs different materials. To build weapons, we need bronze and wood. So let's build, let's say 5 of them. This will cost us 990, 5 bronze bars and 5 wood. Each item that will get created will have a quality. Now, while the broken items are not exactly ideal, they are not useless. They are better than nothing. So we allow our heroes for now to buy them. But before that, I will actually craft another 5. Oh, and we have a rare weapon. Excellent. We're getting a few more milestones about crafting items. And we got a green crystal. Perfect. Now let's slow down the game again and go on an inventory. Each building has its own inventory. You have the blacksmith, the woodworker, the tanner, the tailor, the apothecary, and of course the innkeeper. And each one of them have different tabs. So innkeeper has quests and food, blacksmith has weapons, offhands, armors, and then a few extra abilities to filter things. I'm gonna click on rarity, just to sort items by rarity. When a hero goes to buy a weapon, they will look at the primary attribute of the item and then the secondary. So if a hero has a weapon with 11 damage, then they will go and buy this one because it has more, it has 22. If they have another weapon that has 23, they will ignore this item, even if the quality is higher. Now, something cool we can do is we can upgrade those weapons. So you see here we have 3 green stones. We can use green stones for tier 1 items, blue for tier 2, purple for tier 3 and red for tier 4. Let's hit upgrade on this. There is a chance, and it worked. It added another stat, but the damage did not increase. If the stat it rolls happens to affect the damage or the primary item, then it will be increased. But besides that, it will always remain the same. And let's go one more time. Perfect. And we have our first legendary. Now, legendaries can be very handy. As you see here, legendary talent, while in town, increases the blacksmith sales by 5%. So when one of your heroes has this weapon, when they are in the town, whoever comes in and tries to buy something from the blacksmith, they will pay 5% extra, which is a very good way to make some money. Different legendaries have different legendary talents, so keep an eye out on those. I have one more green. I could use it on one of those uncommon items, like this 24 will be more desirable than this 22. So let's just upgrade this as well, just once. And it went into rare. Keep in mind, this can fail, and not always work. And actually it got a damage roll, so the damage went even higher. So that's probably the first weapon anyone is going to buy. Additionally, important to keep in mind is, if someone buys it, you cannot upgrade it anymore. They will just look for something better to buy. The weapon master is living, that's fine, goodbye, we won't miss you. Okay, so that's a good start. While we're waiting for heroes to visit, we have our first visitor, Gerald. So he's a visitor, this is his morale, he's neutral. I don't think there is anything that affects their mood at the moment, besides food. They have a CR as well, like regular heroes, but it doesn't matter in this case. Because they are visitors, they don't have any other purpose in the game. Every person who visits your town, they have an amount of gold available, and that's how much they can spend in your town. We'll talk more about that when we look at the first hero. Around the map, there is a few things we can collect, like these mushrooms. So I'm gonna collect them. That gave us 3 food. They always respawn on the same locations, so on every map, you will learn the locations. There is a wood one over here. That's the second one. Another wood right here. This little rock will turn into a bronze vein. We have this fishing thing. When it's ready, it will have a little sign next to it. This middle pond, again for fishing. Then we have another fishing one over here. More mushrooms. And if you zoom out, there is this big tree over here. A lot of people actually miss this tree. There is another rock over here for bronze. Another tree will grow over here. Mushrooms on this side. Over here on the wall, there is a bronze vein. Then we have here mushrooms, tree, and 2 more bronze veins. One is ready, the other isn't. And if we cruise all the way over here, we're gonna see some more mushrooms. So these are all the locations for this map. When we collect all of them, we're gonna get a milestone. Keep in mind those recover periodically, so keep an eye out for them. They're a little extra bit of resource that can be very helpful, especially early on. Oh, our heroes accumulated resources, 20 gold, because we have 2 new heroes. We have Lily and Darin. As you can see, both of them start as CR 8. They do not have any equipment just yet, they just got into our town, and they are visiting the vendors. There is Lily. If you press Haze, you can go into the photo mode, very good for taking screenshots. Okay, quick check. We have food, we have weapons, so let's go into medium speed and let them do their thing. So Lily just got into the town. Actually, I forgot something important. I need to give them some tables and some chairs. Early in the game, do not worry about decorations. It's all about having the important things. So I'm just gonna put a few chairs around this, and that should be enough for now. The sequence that they use to buy items is the same. When they come back into the town, not the blacksmith, sorry, they go to the innkeeper. If they have a quest to hand, they hand the quest, they buy food. After that, they go and visit each available vendor that has item for their class, and when they are ready, they come back to the innkeeper, take a new quest, and leave. If there is no quest for them, they will leave without a quest, and they will be grumpy. Let's see. We hit here details, we can see their equipment. And she bought a broken sword. Now, why is that? We said that they normally prefer to buy something really good. They won't always go spend their money immediately. They will start with something and then they will upgrade. Their core drive is to increase this CR. And as you can see here, now with this weapon, her CR is 10. So if we go back here on our quests, we have quests for heroes between 9 and 13. So she is 10, she can pick any of those 3. If I want to prioritize one, let's say I want to prioritize the bronze so I can craft more weapons, I can click on this box. Or when we actually craft a quest, so let's go craft another quest. We're gonna select farming and mining again. This time I want some herbs. I'll decrease the difficulty. Here you can see we have 2 heroes that are within that optimal CR. I'm gonna hit high priority, and I'm going to generate 2 herb quests for them and send them out because I want them to bring herbs in faster. Darin bought the first item, he bought the legendary, and his CR is up to 12. We still have quests for him, so that's good. If his CR exceeded our available quests, he would be very unhappy. And up here you can see the blacksmith sale bonus that we acquired because he bought the legendary weapon. If you mouse over the item, over here you can see how many items you have and how many quests you have. Same with weapons. And if you are running low, this will start flashing red to give you an indication that, hey, you're running out of stuff. And we have our third hero, Alniara, CR9. Something else about their CR. Their CR is not only based on their equipment, but also on their health and mana. So if they come back wounded, and they cannot recover because your food quality is not good enough for them to recover, and stuff like that, their CR will remain lower. So their CR is never static, something to keep in mind. A storm is forming. Visitors won't be able to reach the town during its duration. Okay. I'm gonna slow this down, and we're gonna stop the first episode here. We set up our innkeeper and our blacksmith. We got our first 3 heroes, and we are starting to send them out into quests. On the next episode, we're going to craft a few more things, and we're going to look at another workstation, as well as play through the whole season. Every season is 15 days long, and there is an evaluation at the end. Thanks everyone for watching. Don't forget to drop a comment, like, subscribe, you know, the fun stuff, and I'll catch you all on the next one. Bye bye!